The gravity seems to be strange here, just as time is. So,
How are we talking right now? Are things moving really slow around you?
It's very
really...
difficult for me. You are talking extremely slow.
Weird. So if I talk like this, does it like I'm talking like a normal person?
No, a very slow drunk person.
Oh, well.
But it's curious, at least. It seems to be manifesting strangely on my side. That's very disturbing. Amusing, but disturbing.
Fastened to the thing?
No, the claw actually, or the collar detaches and it just stays around your neck.
You have a collar on your neck.
A big, like a metallic collar.
Yeah. In the meantime, though.
Well, I guess you probably moved. Did you hit your eyeball?
Ow. Do you want me to even you off?
I heard that. His eyeball. Don't hit his other eyeball. I'm gonna cast Spacred Flame at him.
Spacred Flame.
Spacred Flame.
I'm gonna Spacred Flame him.
Is it a dexterity saving throw?
What's the blange on that?
Never mind. I'm not gonna Spacred Flame him because it's 60 feet.
Move up to the edge, look towards it. Off.
I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
You watch as the jets peter out, the color vanishes, and it just begins to plummet. Rights itself off. And you see it going to drift further out, powered off a second time.
The flat delivery is everything. Off.
Bright orange. Takes no damage, and what elements of it looked maybe slightly scuffed
I healed it.
have healed closed.
This thing sucks!
His charisma.
What would this even mean for Caduceus? Who would that guy be?
I don't know who that would be.
Caduceus is incredibly intelligent already.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine
This is
with.
Liam talking.
Oh.
What would that guy be?
No fucking. I would just start wearing sweater vests and have a pipe.
Other than that, no change.
You see, the fundamental change is, of course, whether or not.
You're the brain gremlin from Gremlins 2.
No, it's the brain. It's the brain gremlin at that
I'll
point.
talk a little bit. Let's go in this room because I think there's some fascinating.
Please, let's must. Yeah.
I've seen the movie a few times. Shut up.
What
This
about
is-
the
Intelligence at Marisha to Sam.
not to Marisha says, my intelligence is at 16. Oh my God, where am I? What are these cameras doing here?
Sam is pierced.
He's going too deep.
Spin the top. But now it's 16?
Know if we wake up, because I think I've got one more of these uses of this mirror before, we don't have it anymore.
Well, be sparing and careful. Keep me updated.
A little bit this way so she can see.
Oh,
more of
sorry.
us.
Yeah, if you turn it to the side, you'll get the better. No, you need to turn yours to the side.
Does that work?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. That is better.
Should we?
The concept of gravity was first discovered by a Jorhasian wizard known as Isaac Newton.
Are you making this up?
Wow.
Oh, she's a nerd now.
You're so smart with that circlet, though.
I know. I feel like the thoughts have always been there, but they're just so easy to recall now.
Is the jewel in the near your forehead?
It's right here, kind of in the part. You can kind of see. Ow! Ow! Why?
It's like Homer finally taking the crayon out of the pad.
Glancing at the materials here in the books, there are the materials here to make a golem.
And you found the door. Evidently turn that on. You look around. Do you see anything?
I'm not as smart as Bo, but I'll go look. Bo, you want to take the right circle and I'll take the left circle and we'll just sort of make a pass?
I will go counterclockwise through this circle.
Okay, so you're both going around the chamber? What are you doing?
He is insufferable now.
That makes the jetpack. It
The
is
whole thing.
Need the arcade.
What is it?
Can I, while they're
Tell us, circle.
debating,
The book that lays open, materials that are there are for specifically creating a smaller golem personal servant. The chains detach and it lands on the ground
Kills you.
and just looks towards you.
Oh my god.
Willy.
Villy.
W-I-L-L-I. Willy.
No, it's
Willy.
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 Willy. That's what I said, Willy.
Yeah, I think you're saying Villy,
Villy?
like a V.
No, I'm saying Willy.
Yeah. There's like a this letter
Willy.
instead of
Why
this
Willy?
letter.
Yeah,
That
why
sounds like
You guys have known me for a long time. Are we really still pecking at my accent? It's Willy.
I just want you to get the letter
Yeah,
right.
you know that's
Alright.
a lot of people
Villy.
call their like weens a Willy.
This is Willy.
Okay, so his name is Ween.
Yeah.
You love dicks.
I mean I do.
So, Willy.
Okay.
You hear a very faint, rhythmic, beating sound, and you can feel a thrum through the floor.
Oh, gross.
Nope.
You take a moment to focus, and you can see within the glass tubes, standing probably about 9 or so feet in height each. They're frosted from the inside by some sort of murky liquid, it seems, and you can just faintly make out what looks to be shadows or shapes from within. They're humanoid, but something's off. One of them you see pressed against it, and they all share the same male human with kind of long, dark hair, kind of a pointed bit of facial hair off the chin. But one of them has this like bulbous cancerous tumor on one shoulder where you can see hundreds of teeth protruding from.
He tries to fix himself. Yeah.
Another one, as you walk by, you can see like a portion of its chest is swollen with stitches, and where it cracks open, you can see a large mouth where a tongue kind of hangs out.
He's trying to merge himself with something else.
Oh, 27 to hit. Come on. Another 10 points of damage. Plus, I'll do Fury the Small. Another 20 points of damage.
So, 10th level rogue, opening round, just throwing it out there, just did 82 points of damage. First round of combat. 16. Oof. He's already looking hurt.
Oh, what?
As you're carving through, it hasn't even gone yet. And you guys are now carving into its flesh. You can
10 points.
10. Nice. Yeah. Bonus action.
Then you say, how do you want to do that?
I forgot his line.
Sorry, I ran out of time to read the bullet points before I got here.
Mr. Mercer, your line.
It's bonus action.
Out to try to get to the heart.
God.
Okay. You tear open and you do find what looks to be a cluster of 4 hearts that are slightly merged. Slightly. Well, they're not beating. It's like a jazz heart. They just kind of like.
Is it books and stuff too?
You all step in. It's a very faint kind of vibrational pattern that just slowly seems to be beating
Some shining shit.
sourcelessly around you.
Oh, I hate
Caleb
it.
is cautiously
I hate
approaching that desk.
A strange horror within this chamber. Horror. A swollen beating heart without a body, locked within a field of magical energy.
Oh, he found it. And then floating around and then combined it onto his.
Alas, his curiosity got the best of him, and he dispelled the field, only to find the heart emitting a corrosive aura as it summoned fleshy tendrils to defend itself. Fighting the defenses of the heart over time from the safety of his tower, he managed to seal it within a case of runic imprisonment. Then, delving into his tomes, Halas found the heart to have probably belonged to a nightmarish entity called the Laughing Hand, cursed to never die by the crawling king himself. Side notes speak of Halas's joy in the warring gods keeping themselves distracted and a lack of interest in the fate of this Laughing Hand one way or the other. He cares not about the strange battles of these divine and let them Let them stay focused on their middling interests and efforts. You continue to... And would you roll on your investigation check again? That was
18.
Eventually, Halas writes on a successfully developed possible vessel and his need to prepare. His theories then descend into methods of soul transference via customization of a magical jar, and take note of one of his ritual chambers within the dreadnought. The writings and dates abruptly stop there. Yeah, it's more like Runt's banana than an actual legitimate banana.
Scratch and sniff banana markers.
I'm gonna keep the peel for comedy.
Put that in your inventory. Don't forget that. Turn. You have a bonus action, but nice.
That was
That would
explosive.
be a full action though.
No, I'm saying you have a bonus action left.
Well, if you'll allow me to investigate it, I will.
No, it's an action. It releases. You slam it, and then it bursts across the ground and stops beating. Yeah. This entity is doing very poorly. Extremely poorly. When I was checking in, he was in the midst of being berated by an individual. Possibly. The flesh was sagging, and it was extremely lethargic, breathing heavy.
Whoa.
Yeah, so whatever you did seems to have had quite an impact on this. But what really catches your eye are the numerous platinum chains. Maybe a dozen or so. Thick platinum chains that are bolted tightly to and wrapped around this dark blue rock before pulling to the creature that they restrain. Just below the door, about 30 or so feet from the island, and about 25 or so feet from you, rests a terrifying behemoth that challenges the darkest of your nightmares.
This is way worse than I thought.
A hulking beast covered in spiky armored plates, resembling a bulbous swollen serpent, with a silvery tail that seems to curl and drift infinitely towards the distant skies, tethered to an impossible distance on the horizon. The hardened, pale flesh plates that surround it are veiny and smooth, almost slick, while its muscles tense against the numerous chains that surround it. At its front, where it faces you, a trunk-like torso carries two thick, muscular arms that end in terrifying pincers, also held by the same thick, silvery bands and chains to the rock. It is bound and unable to move to this rock. Between the fleshy shoulders sits a gargantuan face crested, with horned ridges along the brow, and the corners of the immense jaw where hundreds of 2-foot teeth layer and tangle around the edges of a 12-foot wide mouth, ever dripping a thick, clear saliva that drips from its chin and then floats into the space around, as well as the two heavy chains that connect to the sides of its mouth. Two of these are just built into the sides of its jaw. Noseless, a singular eye would sit above the mouth, were it not covered by a platinum plate bolted to its brow. And there you sit floating as it just sits there, bound, blinded, chains attached to it, with the door behind you. You kind of spin around and look, and you see two large levers framing each side of the door.
To begin with.
Yeah, but you
all flip-flopped. I want to leave.
go in it.
Okay, hands for going in the giant astral dreadnought.
Caduceus has a good
I have a
suggestion.
thought.
Where would we go? How would we
Okay,
get back?
Counterclockwise.
Now I'm flipping.
Counterclockwise.
Now I'm flipping.
Counterclockwise. Caduceus, going in or leaving?
I think going
Speak
in.
your truth. Laura, going in.
Going in.
Sam, speak your truth. Liam, speak your truth.
Caleb starts floating towards the mouth.
No, I'm holding on to him.
That's 3 and 1.
I am holding on to him. Yeah, okay, let's go.
What are we doing?
Not the brave. Live up to your name.
And you all are doing this. Okay, so Not you watch as the entirety of your friend party, one by one, drift into the open, gaping, toothy jaws of an astral dreadnought
We're holding hands.
Holding hands.
until they're all disappeared into the shadow.
Holding hands.
But you're holding Knott's hand? You going with him?
The rule before we came in here was
floating.
Everybody holds hands.
everybody hold hands.
So not you're being dragged into its
Or
mouth.
you can stay out.
Hello.
Through with it.
I've already died once. It's okay. Let's go.
You don't see markings. All you do see is a small, arranged set of tables in the middle of this wide open cavern. One of the tables, and in the center of the tables, you see a body.
Living body or dead body?
Still
On the ground, laying still. About 4 feet from the corpse, kind of underneath one of the tables off to the side, you see what looks to be a singular, beautiful ruby about the size of your palm. Not your guy's palm, but your palm. Like it's polished into a smooth sphere with a little bit of golden filigree that appears to be embedded around the top and bottom of it.
Okay, I'm gonna make a few trips back and forth with the mage hand to get all this stuff.
Okay.
Get that ruby.
As you pluck the ruby from the mage hand and go to place it in your pouch, a voice suddenly fills your mind that goes, "You." What do you do?
Who are you?
I'm Halas Lutegran,
I'm talking to
the Husta mage of Zydel, and you are within my private home.
Halas. Charlemagne. Something.
What is he said?
He gave me his name. I can hear him. You can't? He sounds... Are you Zemnian?
I am Zydelian.
Oh, he's not. He's Zydelian.
That's better. 22.
22. A number of the books are ancient ritual tomes and spells dealing with manipulation of the soul, kind of in line with some of the previous notes you've seen of his research in the Permaheart study, including the elaborate magical equations for some powerful spells. One of them is a partial notebook and a partial spell book, and within it are the spells Magic Jar, Trap the Soul, and Clone.
Holy
gosh.
fucking shit.
What does it say?
Among them are numerous scraps of various spells in mid-design.
Oh my god.
Partially constructed, unfinished magical equations, mostly escaping your understanding in their broken, half-formed state. However, because you rolled a high enough investigation, one of them catches your attention. One of the partially developed spells is tied to Halas's work seeking to alter his own body permanently instead of relying on the failing clones. This looks to be one of the last things he was working on before he fell into the state you see him in now.
Do you tell us all this?
The transmutive theories and advanced arcane mechanics within this partially designed spell are incredible, and connect some dots about reforming a living body to become a different type of similar body indefinitely.
Oh my god. You know, I am kind of the acting liaison for the Mighty Nine in this instance. What year do you think it is?
What does it matter?
I don't know. Do you want to know how long you've been here?
What year is it for you?
The year is... What year is it?
What year is this?
I believe at this time it would be 836 PD.
Wild stallions.
It's 836 PD.
Well, based on the fact that we are now working through time in a different aeon than I am familiar with, not knowing what PD refers to, and 800, wow, yeah, it's been...
Oh, wow.
That is very problematic.
Uh-huh.
It's, oh no.
Yeah.
You rocked it, Noodle.
By the way...
when the gem wizard says, wow, shit's fucked up.
I set him down really quick.
Gozer says, come again?
Yep.
I set him down really quick.
And sitting atop the strange circle is a set of folded, leathery wings wrapped like an egg of textured skin.
Sitting on top of the glyph.
Mm-hmm. Instant, as this large devilish humanoid of dull red and brown skin, clawed, hooked fingers, these hoof-like backwards legs, a long pointed tail, and a heavy set of curled horns that protrude from each side of its head, its burning red eyes and fanged jaw facing in your direction. It just looks out to all of you.
Happy Halloween,
Alright,
motherfuckers.
let's...
Where's the door? Where's the door? Hello.
Words. It has words.
Words. Oh, it's been some time. Words. It's been some time.
I started looking around for another door.
Make a perception check on the binding.
Right, and one of them is green as this thing.
Correct.
Not touching that one.
As you're walking towards the books, you see the creature kind of looks excitedly in your direction.
That one. Fourth page in, I believe. I left you a present there. A little poem.
No.
You like it. You like it.
Going to cast Zone of Truth.
Oh.
Over.
But they are locked.
I'll try to pick one.
Go for it. Make a lock picking check.
What is that?
What are you doing now?
I'm gonna try to pick it. I don't know what that means.
I write down
Check traps.
traps, brah.
What'd you roll?
19.
A 19.
You start
I got what you were like.
backing up from this.
Yeah, back up. We all back up.
Okay.
Kale gesticulating madly, just trying to show explosions with his hands.
Okay. You. Ting. It doesn't unlock.
Oh.
I need you to make a Constitution saving.
8. No. 11.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Is this gonna be like a Vexalia woman?
Hold on a second.
Oh. Oh?
Can't heal you in here.
Mm-mm. We can feed him a potion.
Yeah.
Or
No.
Sorry, my apologies. There is no saving throw.
Oh.
You watch as Nott is working at the box. There's that click sound, and there's this kind of bit of shadow that just kind of drifts off of the body as Nott collapses.
Exactly. Same shit. Time is a flat circle.
The box also vanishes. Reach down, grasp the symbol of the traveler, and as you place the diamond onto the chest of Nott's currently lifeless body, you see the diamond crumple black and turn to dust.
No.
As the dust kind of drifts away, you see the hand of the traveler kind of catch it in the air and then place it onto the chest of Nott's body. The hand kind of gives one hard push on Nott's chest, and in that moment, you watch Nott's body come back to consciousness. Looks over and you can see, a bit disheveled, bright-eyed, and slightly kind of, not coming out of a sleep, but just coming out of rest. A surprised Yusuf. Points to the collar.
Oh, he can't talk anyway.
Write down. We're here to break you out.
Footsteps a moment later, and Yusa approaches now, clean, dressed in these like long, beautiful, gold and silver robes. A tan elven skin framing the somewhat warm and delighted smile that he's trying to hide at seeing you all return. Well, it is very nice to see you all once more. Thank you for everything. I've had some time to reflect that you may not have had, but I'm very thankful. I know you've mentioned this Angel of Iron scenario, right? Done a bit of research into it. She moves one of the tables over there with you, sir. It appears that word has gotten around in some circles. They're dealing in the chosen of betrayers. That is a worry for us all, to be honest. I'd like to perform a ritual that peers past the veils. It would require all of us to partake in it, if you're comfortable. Gives us a better chance of success. Perhaps we can shed some light on this plight of yours, and hopefully not, but perhaps the plight of many. Gather some things for me. And Yusa goes, I know exactly what you mean. Get that teal orb there, and they start pointing out different things, and into a bit of a mist of a tangle. All the chains gather in the circle, binding to something. You see a shape, female in form, in the center of you all, rising from the smoke. You see it take the form of Yasha, held in these chains that wrap between you. As they continue to rise above her, a cloud of sparks bruise above her head, while the chains gather, formless and writhing. Allura stops her chanting and looks up to it, her eyes squinting against the intensity of this wind wrapping around her. Something divine watches over her, but it is held at bay by this angel. That's bound to happen.
It's stuck on your beard.
There you go.
I got it.
Yeah!
Still looking good.
What could possibly concentrate harder? Show us. Reveal the form of her captor. You all begin to tighten your grip and focus even stronger on her. The writhing cluster of chains begin to separate. And in that space where she was, her form vanishes, and left behind it is a black, lightless void. The chains that were tangled once begin to fall into place. 7 points, 7 segments around the pit of darkness, endless, yet living. It's strange to look in the blackness of night and feel the emptiness, but you look into this emptiness and you feel something immense, something old, something mad. A deep, guttural shout quakes the room. The ritual shattered, the windows break on the tower, light filters in, the candles are out, and all of you feel your arms thrust apart, breaking the connection. This thing you chase is a ruse. She looks to Yusa. Yusa goes, there is no angel of irons. It is a guise for the chained oblivion. For there is Dun, the terrible mad god of endless hunger and destruction. It masquerades its efforts for freedom by this angel's name. He looks to Allura, and Allura looks to all of you. This is a terrible portent. I must inform the council. And that's where we're going to go ahead and leave off the episode. Those who are foolhardy enough to follow such twisting destruction as the Chained Oblivion are often spurned, hateful, and chaotic souls who fall through the cracks of society and attention. A bit of inherent madness left unchecked kind of opens the door to the creeping void that draws those who worship and come to the altar of this unspoken entity. You also know, since it is rare for those of sound mind to worship an entity that brings only madness and destruction, the Chained Oblivion and his followers often deceive sects into aiding their efforts from within other sects of worship, creating a false idol entirely. And you know that the higher acolytes of Threads Dune, as part of their ritual of ascension and to show their true faith, often remove their eyes so they can peer through shadow and light with this boon.
Ew.
Inconvenient.
I don't want to play anymore. I'm leaving now.
No,
Taking a fishing boat.
Good crab for
You do know, based on the probably putting the pieces together, that with each rift that probably opens within Exandria, between that and the Abyss, the veils between the realms get slightly weaker with each one that remains, if temporarily. And through this subtle influence of the Chained Oblivion may begin to creep into the world.
Zadash.
Allura goes, and I feel like I should at least implore aid from the Council of Tal'Dorei. I don't know if they can get directly involved in Imperial Wildmount politics so brazenly, especially during a time of war, but I'll see what can be done.
The council, huh?
Who's on the council?
Who's on the council?
Can you give us like a list
Andre.
that mean?
Do you have a roster?
Never heard of it.
She teleports away. Writing its own letter about 20 feet away from him. He then drifts over to.
You fucking motherfucker.
It's Brian Foster's payback.
Don't put this on him.
Turn off and makes any difference. People that are not who they seem or pretending to be something else. Is there a question that we could ask, or perhaps some way of verifying that he is who you say he is?
I would say. I couldn't help but notice around your neck this tiny furred creature.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my ruby necklace, which is really beautiful. But yes, this is Sprinkle.
Or made would react favorably to such a creature.
Oh, he likes all little furry
I think Sprinkle's
creatures?
been dead since the Happy Fun Ball moment, right? It's not covered in ashes. It's just torn dead.
Don't say it out loud.
It's just a mink now, really.
If she hasn't found, just leave him there.
Just stiff, hanging from a little string around.
A solid collar now.
Produces these mouths.
Sprinkle hides inside my armor whenever we're in battle, and he's super duper protected.
Are we all silent?
No, just you.
Very good timing. Hang on, wait. Just let her get out of her system for a minute. No, it was great. Good work.
If you
I've
could
been
read
pulling
lips,
on to
I see
that.
a lot of F's and S's,
Yeah.
a couple G's,
Ferns.
a T
Soliloquy.
and a C.
I don't think she's that angry.
Gentle.
Yep,
F,
no,
S,
those
I don't
hands
know.
are not easy to mistake.
I think she's gotten it out of her. Oh,
Not yet.
I think she's
means
gotten it out of her
cracker.
system.
Or cracker. It's baby sign language.
No, I'm talking about you, sir.
Oh, yes,
Not
yes.
wanting to be possessed by an all-powerful being.
We will
Thousands
trust
of years
you
ago.
if you tell us who the members of the Chaldore Council are.
I regret to inform you that my only experience has been with Allura and members of the Pansophical.
It's unfortunate. Fireball.
Oh, no. I sent the message to Orly. Orly, come back. We're here in Nicodranus and we see the ball leader and you're sailing away. Are you come back? Because we want to talk to you.
Orly, come back.
Orly, come back.
Oh, gee.
The voice comes back.
You gotta warm
Returning.
it up.
Oh, it's been a while. Yeah, it's good to hear your voice, then, lady. We're going ahead and turn that around for you. Give us a moment.
You see the ship slowly begin to turn, making its way back towards.
It's so
Really
good.
calming to watch.
It's so good.
Orly, we've come to get some ink.
I was wondering when y'all be coming round to get yourself some mighty fine ink. Let me get my materials.
And he goes back onto the ship, and eventually,
Yeah, I'm gonna do I would request like eyeliner, like permanent eyeliner. And that maybe like sort of swirls off and kind of swirls up here.
oh, that's cool.
I
Okay.
tattooed daring.
So, yeah, it's almost like a Mardi Gras mask, but it's just your face in some ways. That's cool. All right. So as she's got it, Orly goes like,
That I can do.
I was wondering if you could make it look like, almost like a small cape, you know, like the one that I used to wear, the little short one, like covering my shoulders and my chest. And then right here, I want two hands like this in front, like the traveler is hugging me.
That I can do.
what kind of tattoo do you want?
I pull out Molly's tarot cards. And I flip through the tarot cards until I find the design of the all-seeing eye.
Okay.
Because he had that on the back of his neck,
Yes, he did.
Okay.
right below. And then I point out the other filigree on the card and tell him to just
Get it.
embellish it out.
That I can do for you.
In the back of your neck.
I didn't pass out.
It looks so good. No, you were awake the whole time. It looks so good.
Does it?
I can't see anything. I think it looks good. Is that Bo? It's really swollen.
Your knots pointed in the other direction. Looking towards the star.
Staring at Orly. Orly just kind of spins, not around, back towards Beauregard. Well done. All righty. Getting that done.
That was almost terrible.
That was so on brand. That was so on brand.
I need it immediately.
That was so on brand.
That was the anti-Foster card throw.
We had to cut the feed, come back next week, you have an eye patch.
Yeah.
First of all, are you okay?
I'm fine.
No paper cut? Okay.
Not physically. Emotionally, deeply.
So bad.
I can always count on the universe to humble me every waking moment of every day. Yes.
I apologize.
Whoa.
It is said that there are numerous shackles, 6 in total, that hold Threads within the abyss. The locations of each shackle fane are closely guarded secrets within the highest clergy of the Dawnfather and Knowing Mentor.
I don't have much secrets that I haven't told you guys, actually.
It's okay. We'll do this game later.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Think about something.
Oh, I'll think about something.
And when you have something, come to me.
Okay,
I'm going to think about something too.
Okay, yeah, because it's nothing. It was nothing good. And then I went to my bad place, which was
I don't
like
wanna hear that
immediately
shit.
think of lies.
No, I don't want to hear any of that.
Yeah. Oh God. Am I confiding in you now? Why do I lie all the time? What the fuck? Why was that my first thought? Was like, what can I say? It's not true.
You thought your instinct was to lie to me, your friend?
Well, no, it's not you. And I'm actually getting a little better at it. Fuck. God, we're in the fucking public. Okay, look, I'm getting better at it. But
At what? At
just
lying?
No, it's just not like feeling like I have to be something I'm not.
Being honest? Be honest.
Being
yourself?
Yeah.
Boy.
I didn't. This is blindsiding
How did we
me.
get here?
I don't know. You holy shit!
Wow, I feel like I just had a breakthrough with you.
I got a heart palpitation.
Don't promote.
Can we make a therapy character class, by the way? I
think we may have to with this one.
This is like as a bard subclass.
What just happened?
I don't know. Why do I feel like I'm about to cry?
I'm going to ask one other strange question while you wait for his response. Do you have like a little bowl of milk for our kitty cat?
Oh, and
Immediately his face goes.
and spring.
What didn't you say? What is this little one? What is... Oh my goodness me. Oh my God.
Oh, fuck.
Just immediately, like, the entire presentery, kind of intimidating visage just crumbles. Like, what is your name?
The idea that the whole time Frumpkin has been hidden just like one side of your lapel.
Yeah, just
And then like the head
in
pokes
my
out.
belt.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a... You're familiar.
What about
Who is
yes,
familiar is this?
This is also Sprinkle.
Familiar? I mean, he's just a cat. He's not
Double
a magical
prizes.
thing.
Double prizes.
Oh, this is... Oh, this is... I know we are talking about very important things, but...
The little things.
Oh, it's...
Yeah, Sprinkle likes to
Interesting,
cuddle
wasn't
in. Yeah, so.
Remember, I told Frumpkin to be extra adorable.
And it's just cuddling on. You can see, like the shoulders go up.
Kitty biscuits, all of it.
Oh yeah, like
You guys been looking a little chunky.
no, it's
Just
just
a little.
He's not chunky at all. He's super skinny.
Super skinny.
he's like super skinny. Everyone was like,
Well, that image is burned in my head. Thank you.
He's a little rat mammal in Ice Age.
Yes!
Yep. Straight up.
Oh my god!
What's your armor class, Caduceus?
18.
You feel this searing pain in your back. This sudden burst of intense, deep, piercing pain.
What?
Your breath kind of halts in your chest for a second as the muscles in your torso seize. 5 points of slashing damage.
Oh, shit.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me,
attacked.
please.
You were being
45.
would we see it? Can we see it happen?
Hold on.
And make a Constitution saving throw?
Correct.
Did math first.
Okay. 15.
15, okay. From that intense pain, you feel something begin to very briefly begin to corrupt into your veins, and your body shrugs off whatever force or thing is trying to pierce.
I cast Detect Magic and swing behind me.
You guys kind of hear the strange from Caduceus. Caduceus leans forward. You all spin around and look, and they're kind of just creeping up out of the ground. You see a female form. Dull, kind of gray, almost blue-purple skin, black headband, bright red hair that kind of spills down in front of the face, cloak and armor with a deep grin as she draws one of 2 dark, envenomed daggers from the back of Caduceus and kind of laughs before shifting back into the ground like a ghost.
What?
Oh shit! Is that the name? Is that the fourth horseman? Is that the
what?
As Pumat says, "What was that?"
Are you okay?
No.
And that's where we'll pick up.
I'm looking.
Gas?
Bear's Kick? What movie have I been seeing?
17 misses.
Why do we
It goes like 2 inches just above her head as she disappears into the
Telegraph my
floor.
attack too much.
Yeah.
We are bad at everything.
That's why they tell the MMA fighters never to try that shit.
Yep.
So, for the purposes of brevity, you guys prepare your stuff, and a minute goes by and she doesn't appear.
God.
2 minutes, 5 minutes of silence and getting ready for certain positions.
I fire anyway.
You fire. You take a little bit of
Should we
time.
run up and check on
Pumas?
Puma?
Yeah. Someone go check on the poo.
Can I run up and show you?
I just back up from the swivel gun. Puma?
Call him man for short.
Mr. Man,
Gentleman's fine.
you wouldn't happen to know who's on the Tal'Dorian Council?
That is fucking 2 hours and 10 minutes. Oh, fuck.
Hold on.
130 minutes.
You earned that.
Wow.
I do.
We're just, curious.
And it's good to see you all safe.
As we walk away, I walk over to Jester and put a hand on her shoulder.
I'll kind of lean on the other shoulder.
You all right?
What'd you think? Did you see the look in his eyes? Did you get anything? The glint? Recognition?
Just close your ears. Cup your ears.
Everybody? Okay.
Everybody
but
including...
Caduceus.
Oh!
What do you mean?
While this conversation's happening, you can see that the gentleman is, head down in his work. His eyes are very clearly trained on the group. Yeah. All right, we're good.
See if the gentleman would like a pot of tea. I'm going to get some hot water and make my own tea because I...
Okay. Because, I appreciate the offer, but I'm fine.
It's very rare.
How rare?
only comes from the Blooming Grove. I actually was hoping to ask a favor. Have you heard of the Blooming Grove?
I've heard of it, yeah. It's a little ways out of Shady Creek. It's a graveyard.
It's much more than that, but yes.
All right. Bring me a bit. I'm curious.
I'm poor. My family has been watching over the Blooming Grove since it was created. We were the ones who planted the first body beneath it. And we have worked very hard to maintain it, and it is dying from something. Would it be possible to have someone check in on it and report back? Would it be possible to have some news of if it still stands, if it's holding fast? My family had to. I don't know where they are, and I don't know if they're okay. And it's been a long time. And there is a part of me that is very lonely.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Persuasion. 16.
16. Takes another sip. I can arrange that.
You don't have enough dinners.
I get to choose.
Natural 20.
You do.
Or it's the
Wait,
heads. Sorry, it's a kraken. It was a kraken symbol.
What does that mean?
Heads.
You get to choose.
I get to choose.
Okay.
You go first.
Listen to me. Stay in your personal sphere when you are playing Dungeons and Dragons. Stay here.
Fuck you, you're not here.
Put your arm away from my
Fuck
face.
All right. It's a little embarrassing. But
Another one.
when I was in that prison cell with Widowgast over there,
Yeah.
for the first few days, I was kind of attracted to him. I mean, he was filthy, obviously, and very, very, I mean, he smelled awful, awful.
Yeah.
But I just saw him one night, sort of trying to look out the window. The moonlight was hitting his face, and he was very handsome.
You know, I kind of got that vibe before. Kind of thought there might be that feeling.
Had a little bit of a crush. But then I got to know him.
And kind of like friend zone.
Well, I mean, I'm also married.
Totally.
Happily married.
Yeah,
married.
yeah,
but
totally.
I
That's
will
that
say I
part.
haven't looked at another man other than my husband quite like that. He's very exciting and in another world, maybe.
Yeah, another time, another place.
Dish the dish, bish.
I might have a similar problem.
Wait, you're into Caleb too?
No.
Gross.
No.
Gross. He's filthy
No,
and
not
disgusting.
Caleb.
Oh, who? Me?
No!
Oh, it's me!
No!
Is this your way of telling me?
It's Jester.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
It's just kind of, I don't know, it's just like it's just nothing, it's just a crush. I don't know what to do with it.
Wait, what? What?
If you fucking...
Three more rounds!
3 more each. You fucking tell anybody.
Of course I'm not gonna tell you. You know, look at this face.
You tell everybody everything.
I'm cool.
You are going to let it slip.
No, of course not.
I shouldn't have told you.
Wait, what about her? For me, it's his rugged jawline. It's his intellect. It's
talking
his.
about Caleb again?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's his. It's his. I don't care about the world. I don't care how people look at me. I don't care how I present myself. I like that. It's sort of interesting and confident. What is it about her?
She's fun. She makes me laugh. I like her ridiculous plans. I think she's complicated and layered. I don't know.
That's cool.
I'm not gonna like act on it or anything.
I wouldn't have thought she's your type.
I don't think she thinks that I'm her type.
You're not serious though about this. This is a crush. This is not a thing that you're going to actually pursue, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if. Wow. What if?
What?
But what if she doesn't know anything about? Hey, have you noticed that she doesn't know anything about herself? Like, she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know what she likes.
I've had that fantasy.
She could be lost. She could be a sea right now. And you could be the anchor that brings her home.
The dark.
I don't know if that's how
Flame in the darkness.
The anchor brings you to the bottom, if I recall. I think it'd be the anchor that brings her to the bottom.
What if she's lost because she doesn't know that you're what she's looking for? She thinks she likes Ford.
I could be her beacon. I need to stop saying these things. No, these aren't any of these things.
Ooh.
It's just this is dumb artist.
I didn't even consider that as a possibility.
It's not a possibility.
But maybe it is.
No.
Don't worry. I'll do some work.
No! No!
No! Let me see what I can do here.
Not confiding. This was an exercise in confiding.
Oh shit. I see what you're getting at.
Fuck yes.
Very black and white. It's just don't tell the secrets. It's not that I'm getting at anything. It's just that this stays between you and me. This is our girl thing, okay?
Okay. Chaos Crew.
Linksies.
What is this? What
I
are you
don't know.
doing?
I'm making a pact.
Oh, CC! It happened!
I did it.
Oh, wow! That was cool!
Thank you. I invented it just now.
Wow, that was good!
I'm good at inventing.
Hey, but no matter what, we're not letting this break up the three of us.
No. Absolutely not. Chaos Crew, ride or die. It's not gonna change anything.
No.
Don't let it change anything.
It won't. I will behave the same.
You're already not.
Ooh, that's a cucumber.
Oh my god, I do like all three of the shots.
All right, I'll walk back over.
All right. You guys all bedding down for the night? Oh, okay. You see a figure kind of just looking in. And as soon as you straighten up, the figure kind of ducks around. The itself is fairly empty except for the ogre bodyguard. But you see kind of briskly walking to the bar, the gentleman.
Oh, he was the one?
You gather that he's probably the one who was looking in. How is she? Marion.
So you do know her.
Once.
Did you love her?
Yeah. Lights over and gives another shoe motion to the ogre, kind of like leaves the room and heads into one of the back open archways and closes the door, so it's just the two of you in the chamber, definitively.
Why did you leave? Why didn't you come back? Did you know that I was...
I didn't know about you until you showed up. And I couldn't come back.
Why?
I was a merchant sailor out of Phelan. I was working with the Solvia family to ship along the coast. I was young, I was impetuous, I was trying to make coin and, make a difference to whatever that meant, but I wasn't wealthy by any means. But when I met Marion, I spent every copper I earned to see her. I had to see her. And it wasn't until she told me about her feelings that I found myself lacking to meet the standards of such a vibrant creature as her. I was nothing. I had nothing. So I told myself I would find a fortune and come back. And I could prove over all these other people that I was worthy. But our ship was attacked. And I was taken prisoner and dragged to Dark Toe.
I've been there.
Yeah, right. I managed to earn my freedom while I was there. Using the skills I didn't know I had. The skills that I still to this day employ. A knack for speech and business. I earned quite a fortune while I was on that island. But the things I had to do changed who I am. I was a criminal. My name was merely a bounty now to most people along the coast, especially in Cadranas. I cared too much for Marion to drag her into this underworld that I couldn't escape from. So I never returned. I knew she'd be all right without me. She's much stronger than I am. But in my attempts to be worthy, I fell deeper than I ever was. And it wasn't safe for her, for me to come back. With my growing influence, I began to draw the ire of the Plank King, and I knew it was time to leave. So, slinking north, I found this bed of thieves and kind of built this lawless empire now. It's not really something to be proud of, I'm sure, but I'm sorry.
Why didn't you just say yes? I sent you so many messages. Just... You could have just said yes. I'm your dad. Oh man, Chester. I didn't know about you, but man, I really want to hang out and get to know you.
Chester, I'm not your father. Any man can have a child. Only someone who's around to raise them well can call themselves a father. But for whatever it counts, I see a lot of her in you.
It's the horns.
Well, that certainly helps, but it's real easy to forget everything and be lost in the stupor of alcohol and drugs and women and men and just be caught up in your own little game of kingpin. But when you walked in, all that's changed now. Good night, Chester.
Hey, Dad. Next time I'm in town, let's play some Uno. Hello, my name is Chester Lavore. I'm here to pick up a package. Thank you. Yes? Thank you. No, that will be all. Okay, bye.
We will never remember that. So much.
Hello, can I help you?
Hello, my name is Jester Lavore. I'm here to pick up a package.
All right, I'll go check for it for you.
Thank you. Yes,
What's up? Can I help you?
thank you.
That's.
Oh, all right. Is there anything else you need?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what can I help you with? I didn't get that.
No.
Okay, I'll look for the package. Roll a deception check. with advantage and a d4.
Okay, bye.
Good stuff. Good stuff. 27.
Whoa! Okay.
To the attention of Mrs. Lavore, Not, and Brave. I have received this letter on behalf of my elder mentors of the Soltris Academy. This is a curious bit of fortune, it would seem. I have not spoken with my uncle for quite some time, and while I am sad to hear of his passing, I am also quite interested to hear about this inheritance and the circumstances surrounding his death. I can be reached at the 31st Woadstone Manor on the northeastern end of the Shimmer Ward of Rexentrum in the Empire.
I want to go there.
I travel often, so should I not be present, present this letter to any present servants and stay within the visitor quarters as our guest. I will return within a day. Astrid.
This is great. We have an invitation to Rexentrum.
She's got some companions around. They're all kind of cloaked right now. It's a bit of rainfall. Where are they? Open a mist down. There's that's a big. Oh, they're walking up to Rexentrum.
They're in Rexentrum.
Trying to get a look at her eyes there. They're focused.
Is her neck glowing?
Yeah, Nick.
Guidance.
I can't see, unfortunately. Cloak's kind of blocking it all.
Ah.
Sorry. Here's a big one with him.
Does the big one look weak?
It's a big. I don't know. I can't get a good look at it. I'm focused on Yasha. It's big though.
It's been a hell of a 2 days. I'm afraid we're going to take our leave now.
Oh, all right, no worries. All right, guys, close up the shop. And he reaches over and grabs a bag from behind the counter.
Where are you going?
Are you coming with us?
Well, I figure you probably needed some help if you're doing stuff. But yeah.
Yes, we do, Puma. We do. Road trip with Puma.
Absolutely.
Should I not? Like.
Oh my gosh, come with us. Oh my gosh.
Are you coming, or all of you?
Well, no, they're not much help. I need them to continue to run the shop. I still gotta make my money. Yeah, I mean, they know what to do. Besides, like.
Respectfully, that is very generous of you.
Well, this is some real dangerous dung you've stepped in, right? Like, this is gonna affect all this
This
bit.
waiver right here, if you would.
Middle of what is the Tangles, which is one of the regions of Rexentrum. You immediately can see the beautiful cerulean building you stepped out of, marked by 4 short, multi-level domed towers of polished blue stone. You saw them from the inside and the elements of some sun that was poking through from the outside. It's this beautiful kind of, it would look almost like a futuristic SimCity building if it wasn't just like a polished piece of stone and glass. You step out into the Court of Colors, which is this region of the Tangles. It's on the western edge of the region. You can see harvest-themed banners around you, the decor line of bright red-brown cobblestone streets that curve into crowded cross streets lined with carts and social spots. Some of the local business appear to be closing quickly. Others are already kind of deserting it and starting to go into their respective homes, as you can see Crown's Guard starting to kind of usher folks around, but you don't see any signs of any attacks.
Can we get high?
Maybe.
Hey. You got this. You can do this. We need you. We need you to do this.
Yeah, good.
You come to a dry place. a place of light. You see colors. And you see Vince clutching a satchel under his arm.
He's got something.
He's taking steps, and each step kind of echoes across a hard floor in an open space. It feels like a very large, enclosed area, and you can see
fancy area.
it's a beautiful cathedral with candelabras flickering, massive stained glass walls on the sides in the distance. A brightly adorned priest walks by, kind of hurriedly, and nods.
There's a priest. He
And Vence walks into the center of the room, behind the central altar, where you can see an older woman in elaborate red, gold, and white robes, her gray hair pulled up tightly behind her head.
Old woman, red, gold, and white robes.
And Vence approaches and goes,
Red and gold.
Angel's Eye, Cardinal Respa.
Cardinal Respa. Cardinal Respa. Angel's Eye. He said Angel's Eye.
She returns the smile.
Angel's Eye, young Vance. Have the children had luck with the secret texts?
They're talking about secret texts.
He hands her 2 scrolls,
He's got scrolls. He gave her scrolls.
taken from the vaults of Vasselheim. These should reveal the thing below and the path to it. The regents will be on us in time, but not before our work has already begun.
Very good. That sounds like the diversions are already in place.
Oh God, they're talking about diversions.
The seed of word has been planted. Coming off the Harvest Rise Festival, Lincoln Jorhas says the assaults are now. He hands the satchel to the woman with the rest of the scrolls. And you can see with the scrolls there's something else in there, some sort of familiarly shaped device.
No, he's got the beacon.
No, it's more of a silvery disc.
Oh, he's got the portal.
Says,
You felt before?
you have that thought and go, holy shit, this feels like a purple punching out of the ground, but 15 feet from where you stand, sending one of the Crown's Guard kind of thrown from where he was standing and about 15 feet tumbling across the slick cobblestone. Bits of stone and earth go flying everywhere as you see piercing out of the ground, rising up, the gargantuan twisting form of an angry purple worm. Its body covered in its signature hard, dark purple scales with spines piercing through each area where they meet. You can see the rows of teeth as it roars. And this
40 seconds later, a massive cat's claw slams through the center stained glass window.
Right here?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Breaking into the space here, it now sits, we'll say right, kind of up. I'll put it over here.
That's one way to do it.
That is.
Guess we're going.
Yeah. We rolling in the deep.
Yeah.
All right, so the cat's claw
Talk to me, Adele.
crashes through. Bits of glass come raining down from above as the entire thing falls in on itself. The slam open.
I would also know if Yasha is coming, by the way. I would be able to sense any movement.
Oh, God.
Hand comes barreling through. No! And right as it moves past, you hear the no! That horrible laughing sound again. You're like,
La 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 la. No, I don't have time to like cover my ears or anything.
Oh, shit.
you also entering right after and flying up high into the chamber.
I hate it.
No, I hate it. He's Oban. Up to the top.
This is it. This is it.
And then stepping out, you see Yasha.
Oh, she died.
She fell down. She's dead. It's over.
Cracked her head on the steps.
Epic entrance, dude.
Oh shit. Oh god. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh god. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh god.
Yasha, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay.
Ashley's back!
Until the end of this fight when she dies.
Hope you got a backup character. You're going down. Well, look up at Oban and say, looks like this is an aerial fight. And I'll point up in the sky and my eyes will roll back and I'll say, it's time to Vrock. And I will summon a Vrock. Summon a greater demon.
Let's get rid of the rock!
You gotta do that every time.
I think that adds a d4 for the pun damage.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but that goes to.
Number you just said? 25.
25 points of damage from Yasha's first strike.
25.
You're out?
I'm out.
Beauregard falls.
Sorry, 27.
There's a lot of math going on over there.
Fuck.
Are you gonna hit her again?
It's 21, but
So you fail 2 death saves. Yasha cuts Bo down. She falls to the ground, and you watch her step up and take the skin gorger and just. It evokes imagery you've seen once before.
oh fuck.
He's casting, sputtering under his breath, and you watch as suddenly his body begins to swell in size. You watch his muscles kind of. He grows about 3 feet taller.
I've been hoping to say it. Keep going.
And his robe kind of pulls Hulk-style to the edges of his body. His short sword now suddenly emits this kind of force energy around it. And Pumat is now hulked out between the two of them.
Do we want to say it together? 3, 2, 1. Pumat swole. Thank you. Been sitting on that for so long, hoping there'd be a reason. I'm going to cast Dispel at level 5 at the back of Yasha's neck.
5th level?
5th level.
Come on. Come on.
That works. So, as you appear and you turn, the Varrock harrowing Yasha, she spins around, blade ready. You see Beauregard over there bleeding to death on the top of the altar. Ford is sitting there, desperately backing up. As you focus and concentrate, the light around the cathedral fades, and darkness of the clouds above take the space. As you open your hand and concentrate and feel the Wild Mother's energy course through you, the dispel magic emanates from her neck, and you watch the symbol burn bright and then shatter. And as it does, lightning strikes the outside, all of the stained glass windows shatter at once, raining down into the center of the cathedral.
Oh, wow.
Yasha grabs the back of her neck, and for the first time in as long as you can remember, no bonds out of your head.
I let out a primal scream of agony and relief and everything and just fall on my knees.
That's your action.
That's my action.
Bon washes away, and you hear the crackle of thunder echoing through the city. And you feel the surge of strength fill you as the entity that's been trying desperately to help you break through is definitely now at your side. You close your eyes and remember yourself fighting against the chains and the dreams that were given. And as you close your eyes, you see yourself breaking the shackles. You see the influence no longer holding any sway over your soul. There's nothing but the storm, vengeance, and hope. As the flames engulf him, the fire is a bonfire. The heat is immense, and Beauregard, you have to like wince and pull away a bit. It's burning so hot. He just stands there, not reacting. The flames just engulfing, and the laughter gets louder and louder and louder, then thinner, then thinner, then thinner. And then the flames eventually burn out, and he's still just standing, a blackened body on its feet.
Oh, sick.
Wow. Wow.
Fuck away from my friends.
Wow.
It's good to have you back. Like, back.
Yeah. I'm very sorry. I did not know what I was doing.
We know.
Please forgive me. I don't know how I can make any of you trust me again because I don't even trust myself.
They go hug Yasha around the waist.
Thank you, Chester.
And start by helping us kill this fucking thing.
Yeah, we'll talk later. No, it's not a good place.
Yes, I think we have a job to finish. I start walking. Oban has told me, he has chosen people that he believes
cannot be killed. So, we continue to go to every one of these shackles and try to break all of them, because when all 4 of us break them, we die, and then we come back, and then we go to the next one.
You say other
It kills
shackles.
the people that it does. It kills the people?
Yes.
But you come back.
How many shackles have you been to?
This was the first one.
You said he chooses people who cannot be killed?
Yeah, but
You cannot be killed?
I feel like that is not entirely true. I think it's just because of what I am, I guess. I don't know.
What?
So 28. 28.
28 points of damage. How do you want to do
Are you fucking serious? Are you serious?
Sometimes it's fucking poetic.
Oh my god. Okay, I want to do something very bad.
Do it.
Okay.
Is he turned away from me, or is he looking at me?
After Jester grabbed him, Bo beat the shit out of him, Ford came around and hacked him. He's like keeping around. He's looking out. He's looking for the Kato guys to come jump in and help him turn the tide. And you see he's getting ready to kind of glance at one of your friends who he hasn't yet to try and take their mind. And then out of the corner of his eye, he sees you approach over the shoulder.
I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but I kind of want to reach up to the top of his wings, and I want to pull them off.
Yeah. As you reach and grab, you see electrical energy across her arms. As her eyes begin to spark with bright blue anger, she puts her foot against the back of his shoulder blades and you start screaming. Tears the wings off of his back. They go scattering across the ground, spinning, spattering his dark blood across the stone. He falls to his knees.
And then I'll take out Skin Gorger. Right through the chest.
The blade goes in. You pull the blade out and he falls to the ground.
Angel of Iron, why have you abandoned me? I did everything you asked.
All the light in the room gets darker. The actual pillar and the obelisk seems to flicker, and the shadows grow long and deep. This low vibration takes the floor.
He's in a circle.
And you hear a and if you speak Abyssal.
I speak Abyssal. Holy shit.
You hear,
You failed, and so shall be punished.
and he goes, no. And you watch the blood pouring out of his chest begins to blacken and
I look
become
him in the face and I say, did you hear that?
the blood becomes more and more of a gush, like a waterfall, and his body begins to melt in his face. As his entire corpse turns into this black, oily sludge that begins to spill out on the ground and expand. You all kind of step back a bit as you watch it boil and roil. Tendrils begin to reach out of it. You guys all kind of step back a bit in the chamber and watch as it rises up from the black, inky mess. Oban the Punished rises. A mass of black, blue, and dark, deep green tentacles and teeth and eyes. Cursed now with a punished form from the chained oblivion.
What? Oh! That's super gross!
It just got worse?
Ew!
Did shit just get worse?
The fuck is that?
And And that's where we'll pick up
Oh no! It's got tongues. It's got eyes hanging off of tendrils.
I ate that in Japan once.
Oh.
Mouth closes around Caleb and then just engulfs him.
Well, watch him whip.
Matt, from the
Watch him
first
numb.
melee attack you made against Eddie, he takes 5 points of radiant damage.
Ooh, good call.
From the sword.
Thank you for that. Good call. All right, that finishes Obon's
That
turn.
might be my favorite that you ever. Watch him num num.
Seeing it come close and roll though.
Oh. Come on, Matt, get it. How do I want to do this?
That would be great.
That would be cool.
Catergeist is going to attack.
Come on, come on!
Yeah, you are. aren't you?
I really don't want to do this.
Yeah,
Yes,
you do.
you do.
Just do it.
Come on, come on.
That's 25 to hit.
Yeah.
Come on.
But it's not a
Please.
sneak attack because
Everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead from it.
What about the
Although
gorilla? No, the
Caleb-
gorilla is engaged with it.
10 feet reach.
And technically, yeah,
I mean,
10
he
feet.
also would have.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not going from far away. He's on top of it.
No, that's true. That's true. I'll allow it.
Matt's gonna kill one of his own characters.
Come on.
Glad we shamed you into this.
Say it.
Yes.
Say it, say it, say it, say it.
How do I want to do this?
Friendship! Friendship! It was killed with the power of friendship!
Matt, please describe how you would like to kill yourself.
Oh, shit.
See, there's one person who has finished bandaging a very, very hurt Pumatsul. As you approach, you see him lying on the ground, bandages all over. One eye is covered with a bandage. You can see there's kind of blood spray on him. And the eye kind of flickers open a bit and turns in your direction.
Oh, hey there.
I rush over and take his hand.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, hey, Nelly. I was worried about you folks.
What about us?
Happy to see your faces.
You.
You must have killed a dozen or so.
I lost count after like the first 20.
Whoa!
That sounds about
You're
right.
a maniac.
Pretty amazing.
You're a hero. Come on.
Just helping out. It's been a while since I've got to flex the old poo muscles, you know?
The pool muscles?
Pumad muscles. It's
That's not what you're
just combining the two words, you know? It's
Yeah, no, don't ever say that again. I mean, I like it, but I don't think.
A question. Why are you speaking differently?
Right.
He got kicked by a donkey in Zadash. Messed up his whole head. Forgot who he was. Couldn't walk for days. Peed his pants. It was a mess. He's just starting to walk and talk again now.
That can't be true.
No, it
I don't
is.
feel like if you were kicked in the
bent
head by
over.
a donkey, you would start talking differently.
Bent over to tie his shoe, got kicked in the head by a donkey. Totally different guy.
I think I know a guy in Texas that happened
Is he British now? Out of curiosity.
to. He got kicked up. Yeah.
okay.
That man's name is Hugh Grant.
To arrive at the gathering of 8 figures, all of which are standing but one. Sitting atop the large-backed throne itself, you see a man in his late 60s. His past shoulder length, kind of wavy, dark gray hair bunched over his brown and gold noble attire. A long, thin beard that just kind of crests down from his chin is tied from beneath, and a crown of gold upon his brow to the same symbol as the one you see on the bottom of the crest. From artworks and depictions you've seen, you now know this to be King Bertrand Dwendal. Last figure, to your immediate right, is the old, jaundiced face of Master Trent Ickathon. As you approach, Allura speaks up. Ah, yes, these are the mighty 9 I spoke of, Your Grace. They are the ones who uncovered the plot by this hidden religious sect. Ormond Hostin speaks up.
Indeed, since our encounter, I've looked into the threads that connect this Angel of Irons, the disparate records of their doing and the machinations of the Chained Oblivion. The similarities are embarrassing to have not been caught sooner, my liege.
And you see, looking at you all, and then eyeing to Allura,
Those who commonly work within this chamber are as trusted as one can be, which is mostly. But I am where you see me sitting now because I don't trust anybody completely.
Why is he looking at me?
He was talking to you the most.
So, who have you identified?
His name is Vince.
the king immediately leans back and looks over towards the Martinet Ludinus Steleth, as well as all the other members of the council all look to him, and Ludinus goes,
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Saw him with my own eyes.
She really doesn't joke, ever.
Blondie, nice hair. Eyes are a little too close together.
Works for you.
You watch as he kind of brings his hand across the air and begins to draw a faint symbol. You recognize it as a spell that you use quite often to speak with individuals.
Vance, where are you? I need you here. In the castle. Vance! He's not responding.
Actually, my apologies. Upon learning of the threat from the Mighty Nine, not but a number of days ago, I returned myself to Taldore at their request and insistence to acquire permission from the rest of our council to reach out.
Rest of the council?
Yes, to reach out to the Bright Queen on our behalf. The Council of Taldore. The king goes.
Who's the council of Taldore?
The king steps forward. Don't make me roll initiative here.
Well, I haven't asked. I'm
You had to
pretty
complete
new
this.
here. I don't
Yeah.
understand. I don't know what that is yet. I was just wondering for.
And they seem to be responsive to trusting the word of these esteemed protectors. Thus, the Bright Queen agreed to temporarily withdraw their attack, preventing them in unintentionally aiding this Angel of Irons cult. There's a pause. Everyone kind of looks at each other and looks at you, and kind of like some of it's a look of being impressed, some trying to put together kind of what this means. The king leans forward once more, intensely, his eyes narrowed.
They withdrew on your word. On their word. What have been your dealings with the Bright Queen outside of this, if I might ask? That they would withdraw at the word of a handful of adventurers.
If they have indeed endeared themselves to the dynasty,
Perhaps we could use them to shift things in our favor. Perhaps to bring an end to this conflict.
the king is still looking at you and goes,
And how do you propose we do this, Ludinus?
this relic they mention, Trent seems to have recently uncovered the relic that the dynasty has accused us of having stolen. The challenges we've had in finding a ground to bargain may be turning in our favor, my liege. Using these 9, 7,
Will and Sprinkle.
7.5.
Please.
Kill me.
Using these operatives perhaps as a mediation tool, maybe we can bring this conflict to a close. And the Assembly feels this course is viable.
Trent steps forward.
We do, my liege. An optimistic view.
And I shall allow it. As you guys begin to follow Trent kind of saunters up alongside your group.
Stand in front of Caleb.
Yeah, I stand on the other side.
Impressive business, isn't it? You've come far from simple sellswords and pit fighters.
Looking towards Yasha.
Especially you, Bran.
And then just continues walking, following after Ludinus.
I don't like him.
Should I go kill him?
No,
You
probably
can.
not.
I mean, yeah, I could probably steal something, right? I mean, like what? Like you want soap? You said?
Yeah, maybe those little bottles of booze, you know, that they give you sometimes.
Did they do that?
I don't know. It can't.
I'll have to ask my grandma.
No, you don't, man. Right? Why don't you
I have
ask
to ask
her?
my grandma.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You gotta get these guys killed.
Don't understand what's happening.
And he kind of rushes off. You guys.
Hi.
Vivi.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. Hi.
Did you win?
They haven't announced my category.
You just left? You just left before your category?
Well, I saw on Twitter that you were using my dice.
I wasn't using your dice.
Somebody said my dice
That's
was
a
in
joke.
front of
I
you.
would never touch your dice without
Well, I
you
had to
here.
come. I had to
How
come.
did you get here so fast?
That was what I meant is we're going to try and keep you safe. And I think we can, is what I meant.
Oh.
I mean, but we can do,
Wow.
I'm not against that either.
Caleb is flashing back to the boat when Jester just sunk an axe into a dude's head.
Yeah, you just scream.
We do have
room going like.
Sup, bro.
Comes over.
Stop right there. Go, just.
He drops this little bag on the ground. And then just heads off downstairs.
I never really thought of it that way. Well, I've been waiting on this. I'm going to reach into my pocket and I'm going to pull out this beautiful, ornate seal of the Wild Mother that's done up in where normally there's the wheat chaff. There's this seaweed ring that's been made out of copper that's gone blue and green to look like with an iron spike through it, like an anchored spike, and then a blue in the center is like a blue waved crystal that kind of gleams and. I mean, it's nice of you to ask me every now and then, but I don't really know if you need to that often anymore. You seem to have a handle on things.
It would aid this negotiation if we were able to confirm that the beacon, in fact, exists and that the Empire has it. I'm sure you can appreciate the questions that we would receive as to the validity of its actual ownership.
Would you wish to accompany me in confirming it?
I think it would benefit us greatly if we could say that we had seen it with our own eyes.
Done. You rise back up the marknet, and behind you see the now twice familiar face of Master Trent Icathan approach.
Well, I'm so glad you all were able to join us. I've been notified of your arrival, and we have prepared the demonstration.
Mr. Ikithong,
Yes.
how long have you had this relic?
About a few weeks. We uncovered it, and we've been researching the extent of what it's capable of. With the rising conflict, we came to understand that this was one of the beacons that was so important to the dynasty.
Wolf. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too. It's been some time. You look good.
Let's go.
Of course. And he walks around the edge of his tower out of sight.
Are you okay, Caleb?
I don't know.
I don't like him at all.
No. Which one? Trent or this fellow?
The Martinet's really actually pretty cool. I like him.
Great.
Yeah.
I will say that pulls to the side, and a figure comes out, and as it does, they all get quiet. You see what looks to be a half-elven woman in probably her 50s or so. Heavy set with tangled, dirty blonde hair, and just wide smile of teeth that are too white for the somewhat dirty and disheveled exterior that she holds. She kind of steps forward, arms behind her back. Hello. Welcome to the Cryptic Collection. My name is Karen the Keen. Can I help you?
Fancy magic-y things for us.
We just might. And she puts her arms
like?
out.
What her hands look like?
Her fingers are longer than they should be for a standard half-elf. Probably about an inch to an inch and a half longer. They're thin, and the nails themselves kind of extend.
Press on fingers.
Yes.
Are the little paintings on
Yeah.
Let me just call the Martinet.
You do know, like, of a recent historical event in which the Cobalt Soul was responsible for rooting out illegal magical experimentations that a member of the Cerberus Assembly was accomplishing about 26 years ago by the name of Dr. Anna Ripley, who was then ousted from the Assembly and escaped punishment.
I'm sorry.
I want to give him.
Okay.
And Ripley was in the assembly.
Whoa.
My apologies. Delilah Briarwood.
Oh.
Delilah
Briarwood
Was in the assembly?
Yeah, that's been mentioned at this table.
Yeah. That's,
we're also
working on the animated series right now. My brain
There's a lot going on.
crossed paths on that one.
I'd love.
All right, you're working on your bone flute.
It sounds. It's a death whistle, basically. You've just handed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Just sitting in probably another park and.
For those who haven't heard,
The same part.
I believe it was the Aztec.
It's the Aztec.
The Aztec death whistle.
Aztec death whistle. Is what it's called.
It just sounds like goats screaming.
Yeah. It's meant to sound like a person screaming in a shrill voice, and they would have many of them supposedly blowing it at once as they were charging into battle as an intimidation tactic.
It's
And they were
just
like carved as
amazing.
skulls that you would blow in the back of, and it's awesome. Down into Upper Hupperduke. Upper Hupper, if you will. Glancing towards it, last memory you can recall, there appears to be quite a bit of damage that Upper Hupperduke has sustained. Up, as the kids call it. Hanging out and up.
It's good branding for property values.
It's got the stacked letters
It's so-
just in block.
It's so gentrified. I prefer Down Duke, though.
Downward Duke.
Dodu.
Dodo.
As you
Binders.
okay, what do you send to the planking?
Hey, Planking! It's Chester. Do you remember me? How are things going there? We miss you. Are you guys causing crimes and stuff? How's your hair? You put me?
That's actually, I think, dead on.
At first you think it may not have found its source from the protracted silence.
Such a fun spell. Like, if I could just hit you at any time.
It's pretty fucked up. Like I never thought of it in the wrong hands until it was in the wrong hands, and it's fascinating.
Jesus!
You just hear, hello!
The voice comes back and goes,
I am not really certain who this is. But business has been business. Why do you ask? And that's the only response you get.
I'm going to send a message to Bo's
The Taldora
dad.
Council.
To Bo's dad.
Okay.
Wait, what now?
Okay.
This checklist is crazy.
I'm
This is a
so
crazy
happy.
checklist.
Sending is dangerous.
How are things going there? Did you heed my warnings before? We're keeping eyes on you.
Yes, keep. Everything's fine. I don't know if you're responsible, but thank you for helping with the competition. Just let us know what you need.
No, I get the intent.
And your dad was really bad to you, so I was just trying to make him suffer.
Oh. Honestly, hearing you say that is super endearing and kind of makes it a little better. But not because you're making my dad suffer, but oh, I am trying to process this, Jester.
I'm really sorry. There's something there. We should figure it out.
He just saw some kooky fucking tarot card reader. He was all he's able to got.
Bo.
What?
Those tarot card readers know what they're doing. Think of Molly. He was so smart.
They're suggestions. They're things to. They can.
Molly knew things.
That wasn't spit-worthy, motherfucker.
He said, when I asked him, I'm searching for something, and he's like, you already know about it, and we already did.
Ooh, that's true. That is true.
He knew the gentleman was my dad.
I don't think tarot cards told him that.
And he was basically a god.
He wasn't.
Sleep anywhere.
But eyes open.
I've never tried it.
Try now.
Are my eyes still open?
They are. Are you sleeping?
I'm sleeping. I don't think I can sleep with my eyes open.
To his bag and sets off for the Shimmer Ward.
Okay.
To find her house.
All right. So, kind of opens the door. Might I help you?
Yeah. I'm here to see the lady of the house.
And who might you be?
My name is Bren Aldrich Amandrud.
I'll pass this on to the lady. Please be patient. And you see a human woman in her mid-30s. Dirty blonde hair, extremely short in the back, but long and kind of side-combed in the front, framing the right side of her face to just past the chin. She looks over towards you, a familiar face of older, with a hard look in her eyes, but a smile, with a heavy scar that is new, that rides from the top of the brow down to the bottom of the chin. She's dressed simply.
I rise.
It has been some time. I was not expecting you, Brian. I understand your anger. And as much as he's been our teacher,
He's not infallible. He's just an old man with the right connections who will one day pass, like they all do.
You always were ambitious.
So are you, apparently, Bren. Like I said, I'm proud of you.
Who is on the Taldori Council?
Every time you
There
ask, somebody on it dies.
Who's left on top?
All these ravens just start landing.
That's
in
the
the
question to ask now.
Ford,
Oh.
do you want to go work out?
Do you work out regularly?
Well, no. But I know that you work out with Bo, and she's at the library, and I didn't know if you wanted to get a workout in before your fight tonight.
Yeah, sure. That would be great. I mean, I'm not looking to like go into the fight tired or anything.
No, but if you like want to do something or something, I could help.
Yeah. Lead on.
Oh, I'm leading the workout.
You said work out with you.
Oh, well, I thought, do you need, somebody to spot you? Do you lift? Do you do,
Do you even lift?
Do you do, sit-ups? Do you need, you could lay on the floor and I could hold onto your legs and push them and you could work on your core?
Right, yeah. No, it's mostly body weight stuff. Did you want to do it with me or just watch
Either
me
one
work out?
could help. Just whatever.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we usually start by doing, 25 push-ups.
Okay, well, let's do that then.
Okay. You first.
Okay. I do 25 push-ups.
How fast does she do them?
Roll strength. Oh, this would be athletics check. Athletics check.
7.
7? The first 15 are pretty solid. 20 starts getting a little slow.
Cool.
Those last 2 or 3, it peaks to the arm shaking.
The warming.
Yeah. But she gets there.
I feel a little better about this. All right, I'll try and do 25 push-ups.
Athletics check.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yes!
Is it a 1?
Natural 1.
Is this like you immediately get a cramp? Is that what
The first 3 go okay.
You're so kind.
The fourth one, you hear a pop.
Oh, come on, man. I gotta fight tonight.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, no. Oh, no, are you okay?
The 5th one, he pushes and he's just holding it and is shaking.
Are you okay, Ford?
You are in.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Do you do this all the time? What did you do?
I don't know.
Did you break a rib? What's going on?
Like, this was not sticking out before.
Oh my god, did you get a hernia from just doing a push-up? I thought you were really strong. Ford, I push it back in.
No, push it back in. No, push it.
I'm going to push it in and I'm going to get it at the same time.
Can you do like magic? Can you make it go away with your little hamster uniforms?
Yeah.
Cure wounds. I will allow you to heal hernia.
Okay.
Is that greater restoration?
Either.
You know what we didn't do? We didn't warm up. That's what it was. Stretching. We let ego get in the way. Yep.
Stretch.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's good for today.
Oh, that's it, huh? 25, 5 push-ups, 4, maybe 3 push-ups. That's a good warm-up for tonight.
4 push-ups.
I feel like my pride is hurt.
No. You were really strong. That was impressive.
I've done more than that.
I believe you.
Really.
I super duper believe you.
Okay.
The traveler is with you. And the wild mother, too. Good for you. You got 2 of them on your side. You're great.
Does the traveler interface with the wild mother a lot? Is there a established relationship there?
Yeah.
Really?
They totally like each other all the time. They go on dates.
They go on dates.
Yeah.
Roll a religion check.
They go on dates.
Does he date a lot? Like,
He gets around.
oh. Bit of floozy.
No, just sought after. You know what I mean?
Not really. Deities that are hooking up all over the place. It's pretty new to me, concept-wise.
People. Is the traveler a fuckboy?
Eat your heart out, Zeus.
Just saying.
Okay. Well, wish me luck.
Good luck.
Thank you for the workout. Do you feel tired at least? Are you sore?
I'm so exhausted.
Sorry, can we're closed for the night.
Oh no, yes.
Yes, we came here for the the special cut of. We have a cut in the back. What? There's something in the back for us. We have a.
Are we eating in here?
I can't eat any of these.
Well, that's right. You were here.
We have a cut of meat in the back downstairs that we have for us that we are partaking in.
Make a persuasion check. Wait a second. I know you guys. What in the Harvest Close Festival, the pit fight? We won.
Yeah. Oh. You were. Hang on, I've been looking at this a lot here.
Comes up. You're the Super 7.
The
Ah,
Which one was
sure.
you? Hang on.
Oh, I'm Darrow. Darrow Adlock. I'm the leader of the Stubborn Stock. We both kind of went head to head at the end, but we both managed to take out our creatures, and we shared the pot, and it was amazing.
Fought the very large crocodile together.
Ah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
Or pop. I'm gonna go kind of on the inside of him. I'm gonna try and break his defense.
Go for it.
That's funny because Pop is what his grandchildren call him.
Get her, Papa!
Pop.
Extract aspects, which is absurd for an
Okay.
old man.
Well,
But let me do it, 'cause that leads to other
He is
shit.
analyzed. But he
has gingivitis.
His pockets are full of Werther's butterscotch candies.
He's resistant to very good scotch.
Fiscally conservative.
He's part of the greatest generation.
Will it give you socks for Christmas?
Okay, bro.
Okay, sorry.
There it is. That's
There
a
it is. It's his turn.
Oh.
He's stunned.
Yeah, he can't do anything. He goes like,
Okay.
"Come on, I got you." That's his turn.
And I'm gonna.
He's like, what's a TikTok? How do you? What's a TikTok?
I'm gonna take the top of my turn to just turn and look it forward through the bars and go, and then go right back into it.
All right. So like,
I've never seen him
he's down on one knee, and he's like, looking up at you. One eye is not like you can't see the white because it's just red. He's like, that's starting to go.
I turn.
Everyone's like, whoa! Whoa! It's your turn. What are you doing?
God.
I already know how you want to do this.
Okay.
My grandson graduates to 8th grade tomorrow.
And with rapid shushing, he goes to sleep in Beauregard's arm before eventually, and once you feel him go limp, you're like kind of. Set him down, and everyone goes, yeah! Speaking of light.
I just stand there and raise my fists.
Your fists? Everyone kind of looks down and goes like, all right, looks like an interesting fight here. Weapon on, bare knuckles.
He's starting to believe.
Okay. 92 points of
Wow. How many D8 did you just roll?
All of them. He does 1d8 with his axe, plus 1d8 radiant for having the paladin ability. Then 3d8 radiant damage from the blinding smite hit, which was a critical, and then a third level divine smite is an additional 4d8. And then I rolled really well, and then all that got doubled. And then on top of that, his bonus to damage.
Yeah, well, he takes 3 points of radiant damage. That was amazing.
Wow.
He might have just been singing.
You guys watch as the impact hits, and it's like a shock wave that expands outward. This divine light impacts and cracks through every shadowed nook and cranny of Ford's armor before he's just surrounded in burning, searing light, and he screams out, "You are blinded."
This bad day.
Nah.
Man.
No, Ford's the grandpa in this fight.
I can't find my 20.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah, that'll do. So the strike knocks you up into the air. He hits you with the flat end of the battle axe, just for sheer impact. Knocks you into the
200
air,
gold.
onto the ground, and everyone goes like, "Ah!" cheering. Play 2 in a row of extremely fast battles. Long way from grog. That was rough. I'm sorry. But once again, like you did 50 damage from not even hitting him. Like,
Thank you. I never hit him. I gotta rework this strategy thing. That did not work.
It's better. That would be 21 to hit.
That hits.
And I just look at her and I backhand her across the face.
Okay, that still does the damage. So it's 1 damage plus your strength modifier.
I love it.
Her, and I say, "Is that all you got?"
Are you using your action to shove her, or are you using your action to make an intimidation check?
No, I'm just saying that to her and then I push her.
Okay. Are you doing damage to the push, or just pushing her?
No.
Okay.
Just pushing her?
Just pushing her.
Make an athletics check.
With that bloodied, I finally start to smile, which you haven't seen in a while. Okay.
Supposed to get beat up. This is some weird thing.
To punch her in her stomach, but I'm going to pull the punch. But the crowd won't notice that.
So not do any damage.
So, no. Come on, champion. You're so close. Fucking finish it.
Jesus.
Oh, fuck.
The saddest pit.
Are you moving in to close the gap?
Yeah.
All right.
As she hits me bloodied, just a smile of relief before being knocked unconscious.
And as the final blow, Yasha swings back. Her feet go into the air and on the ground. The smile on her face. So you don't even try the relent. Well, you're not raging, so not rage, yeah. And so you just the eyes kind of roll back as the grin hits that you all see, and everyone kind of goes like,
He told me to be there, so I got to be there.
Oh, you're a holy man now, Ford. You understand that when your god asks you to go somewhere and do something for them, you just do it.
As long as they're not a giant sea snake that's asking you to...
I mean, we don't even know if it was a sneeze snake, all right? It was just...
What's a sneeze snake?
Snake 2020.
It is a creature known.
Is a sneeze snake different from a sea snake?
It is. Yeah, one is venomous, one is not.
He's a
little bit like a sneeze stack.
Yeah.
And the other one has a sneeze on his face.
Well, good night, everybody.
Day 2.
Is it morning?
And Deleth is not, I don't think, going to send us to go sniffing about where they found one of these things.
No, probably not.
And what are these things?
Yeah, what are they? Me and Caduceus were talking about it. They're either A, homegrown from the land, B, fell from the sky,
That's not bad.
C, made by somebody long time ago, D, I think this is the best answer, they're poop of some kind. Yes, but like god poop, you know? Like sometimes I'm sure
Like
the gods have to
petrified.
poop. Well, that's why they all look different.
I would not want to pass one of those stones.
No, but gods are really big.
One day they had like a lot of meat. The other day, lots of
Or like
veggies.
one is from, like
One day they were on a protein.
one is from cord, and the little
DM,
one is
when I
from
saw when I went up to the last one, were there little bits of corn in it?
Jesus.
No.
Great.
Squatting and they burst open. And then I
Talking about perennium, Sonny?
say again. Oh,
Perennium.
Perineum?
Perennium,
I've
son?
read about they do this in Nicodranus on the coast. I've read about it.
this. Yeah.
What's a perennium?
Is it perineum? Perineum?
I read about it in this. Yeah.
Sunning.
You can read about it in this. There's this elven woman named Gwyneth Paltrow. You can read about it on our blog.
It's your asshole.
No, it's not.
That is what that word means. And then you put the sun on it, apparently.
It's supposed to
It's a
make
thing
you
they
feel
do.
really good.
It's a thing they do in Nicodranus for sure.
They put sun on their buttholes?
Well, they don't put it on, they just expose their buttholes to the sun. You can't put sun on your butthole.
That makes sense. But that's such a strange position to achieve.
Of course.
You've got to get your butthole as high as possible and then expose it.
Yeah. Have you always asked a cleric that question? I'm just saying.
I mean, Pelor clerics have their own unique ways of praying to the Dawnfather.
I object. You absolutely can put sun on your butthole in Dungeons and Dragons.
Sounds like
Let me show my piety.
yoga. That sounds like monk shit to me.
Over per custom ninja star.
I want them inscribed
Okay.
or stamped or something. I want one to say pop and the other to say pop.
Okay.
Supposed to pop.
They both say pop. You got it. That'll add an additional gold to it.
Until you get really good at throwing them,
Yes.
people are gonna, you're gonna hit people and they're gonna be like, Bob? Bob? Bob.
All right. So 2 custom ninja stars.
I will also go to a
Deck. Yeah. And to that point, and correct me if I'm wrong, a number of the cards in the deck that you have are blank.
Yep.
How many?
There's a collection of them that you've noticed, and then there's kind of off, like just sort of on the edge, there's a bunch that look like they're kind of old and fucked up and hard to even read anymore. And then there's another collection of them that are just have a couple little sketches that were just seem like they were stopped, and then a whole bunch of blank ones that are just ready to be filled. You get the sense that this was an ongoing art project and that this was not a bought deck, but a made one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, Jester just starts crying.
Oh.
Because she's realizing, I mean, that's amazing. She's looking at Molly's art.
Yeah, there's yeah.
These questions.
It's also like a biggie. It's a biggie park. It's a busy park.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Knock the bubbles loose. Whoa.
Okay, Sneeze Snake.
There was this crazy moment in a storm a few days ago. I think you may have been here.
Suddenly the clouds opened up and this beam of sun came through, and like I felt the presence of the Dawn Father. Like there with us in the city. In his light and his glory, I knew it was a sign. It was a sign that we were to gather ourselves for battle. And when we got there, we missed it. It was already over and they were cleaning it up. It was very disappointing. Somebody defaced the chantry.
What?
All of the stained glass broken everywhere. It was beautiful.
I mean, yeah, I heard it was so beautiful. We were gonna go look at it. We were gonna go check it out.
Yeah, we heard there were all sorts of like creatures.
Yeah, there was a dynasty attack as well, same time. Man, stuff's been crazy since we got here. It's been wild.
I did not specify that a change. I am bamfing in this robe.
All right.
We're gonna steal the rope.
You guys are about
Taking these
9 minutes into the ritual preparation, which I believe is 10 minutes for it, right? And you hear like a
1 second. Wow, I'm not decent.
Naked.
It's very, very naked.
your time is about up.
Yeah, we got like a minute left or something.
Would you like some towel service?
No, we're okay right now. We're still, all of us were naked together.
All right.
Just throw the towels through the door. Don't look though.
Okay.
Make some steam. Make some steam.
It's all right. There you are. All right. Would you like some tea?
How are they, the nice towels?
They're pretty
Take 'em.
They're coming with us. We need them for the chore house.
As you finish your circle, the arcing energy erupts from the circle as all of you in your various freshly laundered spa robes and cluster of stolen towels rush into the central teleportation circle. Royal Guard attire and armor, spinning, spears at the ready, looking upon you, recognizing, and then heads kind of turn curiously.
I'm holding slippers.
Bathrobe and book holsters.
Covered in mud.
Yeah.
You're supposed to wash it off.
I don't like the water part.
As you're like dragging your armor over her shoulder.
I love the guards just witnessing this bickering spa conversation.
They rotate back into their position, but keep a curious eye on all of you as you pass by. Yep, you are leaving a slight wet foot trail through and up the stairs into the central region of the Lucid Bastion. Do you wish to head to the Jor House, or do you wish to go straight to the Bright Queen?
Let's go to the Jar House.
Yeah, we should check.
We should go change.
Okay.
We'll get into our formals.
My feet never fit in these slippers, so I'm putting my clothes back on before we walk through the city. I'm always cramming my feet into the slippers in right before my heel.
Yeah, I feel like even my robe would only come up to here.
Oh, yeah.
Yours is just below the dangle.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little.
Mushroom tip.
Yeah, you're Peter Panning it pretty hard right now.
My trick tip is so appropriate.
It's the tiniest little kimono.
Yeah, sexy little bathrobe.
Ford gets dressed while the rest of you, not following his lead, make your way through the massive stone and marble archways of the echoing interior of the Lucid Bastion.
Oh, you idiot.
Going past various guards and figures, stately members of various dens of the Kreen dynasty, all walking by and curiously turning their head as they watch you pass.
I cast Seeming on Ford so he looks like he's in a robe. Capital. But everybody else looks dressed in their regular.
Just as you step outside of the bastion. But the thing is, he doesn't notice it first.
Good day. How are you? Yes. Well.
Partway through the stares and glares that now seem to be averting your friends and more focusing on you, you look down upon yourself and notice the bright terry cloth presentation you're currently putting before.
Which one of you fuckers did this?
Wasn't me. I don't know that kind of magic.
It definitely wasn't me either.
Caleb wouldn't do that either. He's a good person.
Are you sure that you changed?
Yes, it's not real. I can't get it off. But it's not real.
FaceTime talking to another FaceTime.
Hold it up.
Like that.
I assume that is something of a similar thing as the mirrors, but probably.
We just were holding up two
yeah.
porn books, by the way.
I'm not judging.
FaceTime is a great series.
It's a lot of mouth stuff.
It's in the YA section.
More answers from that.
Chester, you should know. He said he hated weasels.
Why?
I don't know.
Did he say when he was controlled he hated widows, or was it normally?
Outright, they wither and die if not left out into the wild. They are not pets or... Oh.
Is that true? Sprinkle says he's real happy. Exactly where he is.
She's squeezing me. Let Essek check, and then perhaps if it turns up what we fear it does, then a new line of questions is in order.
Yeah.
Not why have you betrayed your people, but how long have you been experiencing this? Do you remember meeting anyone? Do you remember a trigger?
Yeah, if I don't know, if there's any other answers you guys need.
Stiff as a board.
Sorry.
Like a cat scratcher.
Let's say so we...
He's not dead, he's not dead, he's alive. Stop it.
He's bloated. He's just an airplane pillow now.
Eat it! Wait, 1 second.
You're terrible.
Oh, no. He's alive, he's alive. Move. Show them. Move. See?
Show them your fire!
Did he move? He didn't. He bit my finger. Okay, he's fine.
Rigor mortis is a bitch.
I'm fighting every urge to make a cannon, but I'm not gonna do
He's
that.
not dead. Just think of it like anytime he seems like he's a little bit, I give him a little healing spell. He's okay.
She's just weekends at burning him at this point. Oh, he bit me. Oh, that's very naughty, Sprinkle.
And to the other side 12 times.
Stop it, he's alive. Stop it, stop it. It's not canon. He's alive. Stop it.
He's alive. It's just...
Keep it up for CPS.
Welcome to the Bates Motel, Sprinkle.
Maybe we could, if we find a very beautiful place, we could let him go into a forest.
Are you talking about the prisoner house?
No, I'm talking about Sprinkle.
Sprinkle wants to say, I asked Sprinkle if he wanted to go hang out with what's his name, the guy that likes the animals. What's his name?
Yeah, the guy's...
Oh, yeah, the wizard. The wizard man.
Yeah. I asked him. And Sprinkle came back to me, okay? He didn't want to go to Orphan's. He wanted to stay with me. You all.
Mother?
Another kitty
Stay the fuck out of this, man.
Essek, go check on the guy's neck.
He's already gone.
Okay,
Okay.
God, I can't see straight.
Oh, man.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Mighty Nine, welcome back. You have been quite the topic of conversation recently. And gives a motion for you all to rise and approach. A friend of yours recently stormed our own doors claiming manipulation in the name of an unseen enemy. A name we recognize, though seldom more than a fairy tale. To her credit, she holds no benefit I can see in meddling in the affairs of our continent, and staked your names on this warning, which was a persuasive appeal, enough to stem the tide of blood where it might be earned. So, our distant ears tell the tale of a battle of another kind beneath the city, one that you all seem to have survived in Rexen's realm. Well done. These same ears have also heard of your arrival at the Imperial Castle. A strange destination for such self-proclaimed expatriates. Explain yourselves. I cannot lie, I am very curious as to the circumstances surrounding this sudden offering. But I'm also not interested in discarding an opportunity and retrieving it. I don't know if I necessarily fear this shadowed name you invoke more than I fear the violence of man. But we want what is ours. Do you have any idea what they wish in return for this beacon?
Talks of peace.
That's what they say.
They were also coming to terms with treachery within their midst. I think both of you have that in common at the moment, of how this cult has manipulated events.
Aiden has his own counterpart on the Empire side, by the name of Vence. I believe we've mentioned him to you in the past.
Essek raises his hand and goes, this Vence they speak of is, I believe, closely tied with the Martinet of the Assembly. So, while we are uncertain how deep that hole goes, the treachery runs to the top within the Empire as well.
They suddenly find themselves not knowing how much they don't know. They're afraid.
And where would you like this mediation to take place?
We were thinking at sea, actually. A neutral place.
But I appreciate what you've brought here and the information you've provided. You will not be necessary at this negotiation.
Oh, Mom.
That's sort of our thing that we...
That was a request at the behest of King Dwindle. We are your liaisons that Alora mentioned would be reporting to you. I'm afraid we are tasked to see this to the end.
And we are unsure of the Assembly's intentions, but you should not be unsure about ours.
Jester, you know you need to do.
Okay, I'm listening to my message.
Just say it. Just say
Okay.
ASL.
Destiny.
Essek. We don't know anything about you. I just realized we should really hang out more.
Uh-huh.
Are you single? Do you have kids?
Swipe right.
Swipe right? Also, Mom's name?
Social Security
Vegan?
That was quick. I'm not particularly interesting. Don't like to talk about myself. Don't worry. Just happy to be around.
Cat person.
He's shy. He says he's not very interesting, but we know that's a lie.